Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Factorio Break the Game. I'm here again with Xeteth, and we're working away... Oh, I have some stray bots. Working away on this station design, and we've refined it some. So come let us marvel at the genius of this. So we've made it so that the lines don't cross. Now this is the influence of a loops master. You notice now that two stations have a line each. Does that work? Yeah, so there's 4 stations in total, 2 lines, 2 stations to a line. It works, I think. Yeah, anyway, I'm confusing myself. So, and we were talking about the potential for jamming and things going wrong, and we've just implemented a bit of signal logic here that's going to hopefully force the train AI to do what we want. Because if we were to put a chain signal here on this here, the head of the loco would get there, but it would be hanging over into the station, which isn't what we want. We want the locos to clear the station as soon as possible. So by making this effectively the length of a 262, we now allow this station here to have a little bit of priority over this station. And what happens is this station, obviously the loco will clear, it'll come up to this chain signal, and then once this block is clear, it'll move into it. Hopefully that works out alright. What do you reckon?
I reckon we're pretty much on the money there. It should. That's where they should go. And just due to the design of it, sorry. I reckon you should be able to get the trains in there pretty quick, and then straight away get them out. And hopefully you won't have too much of a backlog of trains.
Well, that's actually what we're going to do this episode is deal with the stacker and try and get that sorted. Because the stacker is going to be quite large, and that should allow us to deal with more trains if they come along. Now we need to bend these lines somewhat.
Okay, so where are these lines going to?
These 2 lines here. So we're going to get these 2 lines connected up with these 2 lines.
Okay.
Which I don't think is terribly difficult. Could be my famous last words. Hopefully not though. Because if we just do something like this.
You know, if you want it to be really neat, you could go like this.
I like neat. And modify the junction.
Yeah. The junction should be fine. Hang on. If we can fit a chain in there. Let's go. Chain, chain, chain. Chain, chain. Yeah.
It's like Christmas in here. Oh my god. You're not related to the Griswolds, are you?
No,
so,
we should...
and then just dance this over.
Either that, or if you wanted to move them across up the north bit so that they just come straight down.
Ooh, that's tempting. Let's do that. Can I leave the junction to you?
Junction's done. That's all.
No, they need to be able to turn left as well. And head in this direction.
Oh, okay, yes. Okay.
Is it just now that you realised what you signed up for?
Actually, no, that's... no.
What do you mean, oh no?
Using too much brain power here.
Okay, no worries. I'm going to go up here and neaten up my train track. Oh, belay that.
We are fine. No, this will work.
This will work?
This will work.
You know how I said, oh, this shouldn't be too hard? I think it just became a little bit more difficult than it should have been. Anyway, we were talking earlier about willingness to tear it down and do it properly. I think right now it's we can see that in action. Because I like when the factory's neat, and that's partly why I'm digging this station, because it's not hacked in. It's the entire factory is in effect going to be built around the station. It's the first thing we put down, so that's pretty cool. Now let's grab this blueprint.
That actually looks really cool down here.
The station.
The junction.
I'm halfway there.
Work nicely.
Let's grab a blueprint. So we'll just blueprint this corner and move it over. Save the fooling around that we'll have to do to get it all hooked up. So what do you reckon theoretical throughput of this is? If you get 9k per train, takes 25 seconds to unload it. How long do you reckon it would take to clear the junction?
I reckon you need to have a train out of there in about 4 or 5 seconds at most.
So potentially we could fit 2 trains per minute?
Oh, easily, yeah.
Per station?
Yeah.
So if we have 4 stations times 2 trains, each of which is carrying 9k of ore, 72,000 ore per minute is the theoretical there. And I'm sure people are going to be frantically on their calculators checking my numbers now. But I think that's max compression though, which I don't think is going to happen. Just quietly.
Nah, we'll make it. We'll make it happen.
It's a thing.
Yep.
I'm struggling with that corner now. Thank you, I need that. I need a bit of a guide. Rightio. Well, that makes the outbound track done. What I'll do is I'll come back later with a 262 and get all the signals in for that. However, that means we get to move on to the stacker. Pretty excited about the stacker. But I think I'm fresh out of brilliant ideas. Now, come over here. We're going to need some straight track. I've already got a bit in my inventory. I'll grab the rest. Now, you use a curly stacker in your station for space reasons.
Yep. And that also because I do use the loop-based system, that they can just sit behind whatever is in the station, and then once that clears forward, they're good to go. So, but definitely for here, I like this.
Well, this is going to allow for quite a few trains just to sit around and do nothing. Well, not do nothing, but wait on a station slot. Now, what we're going to have to do is grab the 2 inbound lines, do a bit of crossoverness with them, so that then they can access any of the stackers. And the other nice thing about this is potentially that we can add extra stackers heading in this direction. So if we want to add a line, if we find that our stacker isn't big enough, I find it hard to believe, but say it isn't big enough, we can add some additional lanes coming out this way and do something like that as a thought. Now, deconstruct that.
Run out of straight rail here.
Oh yeah? I've got it.
Safe.
I've got all the rail. Must say the stacker is probably the best invention when it comes to rail in Factorio. For you, was it something that you kind of come up with by yourself?
Yeah, it was more. I ran a few tests on the early when I did do my factory early, and I was finding that basically it would clog up my entire system. So I had to come up with a solution for it.
Now, which file is this?
This is.
I reckon it's file 1.
Let's zoom in.
Oh, it's on the...
It needs to go to file 1. Yes.
It's on the wrong track. Bugger.
Okay.
So if we hook it up quickly to that, it should be able to get through. Could be the first test. Nope, no path. That's because there's not a direct line there. Bugger. Hold on, I'll just rip all the signals up. Yeah, screw picking them up by hand.
That's alright. I'll run him back to the main line and send him off.
I'll put all the signals back in. Dear me. Good luck getting it on the other side of the track. That's locked to the inbound. You're going to build a loop, aren't you?
God no, just send him off like that.
Alright, let's get all this ready for input. Now, ideally, any lane should reach any lane, basically.
Okay.
Now, okay. Here we need to do a bit of magic though. Because what I'm thinking, see here is where the system potentially breaks down, right? Because the train is going to make a decision very, very early, and you know it's going to be sitting here waiting. And ideally what would happen is it would be sitting over here and be like, well, actually I could go to this here and go in here. However, what may happen is it'll be sitting over here waiting for this one, and there's going to be kind of 3 trains sitting on the wrong side of the track.
Yeah. So we would need to do a cross here.
But I don't want to do that because then we effectively rob this system of its throughput, because then you're taking 4 lanes down to 1, and all of a sudden that 72k per minute throughput is 1/4, which is 18.
We might have to rethink this.
Because it all comes down to the train path finding.
Okay.
Yeah, this may have to be rethought. So what we'll do is let's just build the stacker, and then do you happen to have that 262 handy?
I can put it in.
So if you throw that on the line, we'll measure it out. I'll offload some wood while I'm at it. Man, so much stuff.
Which line does it matter?
No, it doesn't matter, because all we do is blueprint the length. God, they're a long train. Go somewhere like that. And this is the Colonel Will school of building train lines. So not only have I blueprinted that, right, the next job is to turn around and blueprint all 4 and repeat.
Have you got any idea of how many trains you might have coming in here?
Oh, son of a bitch. I'm thinking it's going to be somewhere, 12 to 16.
Okay.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Wow, this is only a 1, 2. Well, it's a 3 times 4, so that's a 12 train stacker plus 4 stations, which is 16. So theoretical max of the system is 16.
Yeah. We can always make it bigger if we need to, but yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Expand out the stacker stations and get them to work. All right, I'll run with this here because we can. When the factory gets turned on, it can always be adjusted to suit.
Okay, so these 2 inputs need to be able to go to any rail.
Yeah, that's right. Because hopefully they'll be running at full speed here. And if they are, that means that they should be able to clear the... Wait, what am I doing? Oh, I see. You're doing the corners a different way. That's alright. That works too.
Does that work?
Yeah, it works. Because once we've built all this once, we can just blueprint it. Now we need to go chain signal, chain signal. Make sure they've got an exit from that block and there's nothing queuing across it. They enter that and all good. Bob's your uncle, Freddy's your aunt.
Beautiful.
And we'll just move this down so that that last block is a little bit bigger. And that is a 12 train stacker. What do you reckon?
I reckon that should work alright. I've come up with a few ideas for what we can do up here to get us some decent throughput.
Yeah?
Yeah. So
I'm all ears.
if we do, we will have to cross them. But if we do that using chain signals, then if they don't need to cross, of course, we have full throughput.
Mm.
Could be a bit of a nasty intersection, but we'll play around. We might need to shift a few things across.
Yeah, I think like the entire complex is quite large. Actually, here's an idea, right? Could we potentially combine the outbound lines for both the iron and the copper?
Yes. But how would that help with the stacker?
It wouldn't. I'm thinking of other things. I've completely moved on. Dear. So this is going to be now I've affectionately called this the Crusher. My new factory. I'm still working on a better name.
I like that.
But I'm hoping that it's going to crush my computer. And resources, and anything you throw at it, it'll crush it. That's kind of where it comes from.
The melter. I like that too.
Thermonuclear. Just makes PCs glow hot, red hot.
Okay, I might just have a play around with this intersection over here.
Yeah, go for it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to blueprint this entire damn thing which could be fun. So I will grab from this station. Well, actually, hold on. Those lines might need to be reversed if we're going to run that through the copper. Oh, conundrum, conundrum, conundrum. Let's just grab, say for example, the core section, and then I'll be able to just stamp this down in a spot, and hopefully we can then work from there. Wow. Checking out the resources, we're going to need quite a bit to build this. Oh well.
Okay, this is going to get messy.
Is it? Don't do it.
Yeah. I'll have a think on that one. See what I can come up with.
Take that one to uni with you.
The best time to play Factorio.
Indeed. Now, what's that zoom command? It's like player zoom something. So ideally I'd like to zoom out and see if I've got this place correctly, because right now it's clipping off the edges. Oh, hold on. Might be able to get it to work.
Let me see if I can find that command.
That's alright, it's not super important. So what if put it somewhere about here. Just as a working kind of placement, so that we yeah, we need to tick
Allow commands.
That almost works. Because here's the thing, right? With this rough placement, we can then run a stacker to the south, possibly run a bit of a fatter stacker, so I have a couple more lines down in this space here where I'm standing.
Yep.
And then just do, for example, only an inbound line, and then hook the outbound line into the iron outbound.
That would work, yeah.
Gee whiz, this is getting really complicated. Well, I think that on that bombshell, we might leave it there for this episode. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. Xeteth, pleasure as always. Thank you for your assistance.
Thanks for having me.
Hopefully
we can play around a bit more and see what we come up with.
Yeah, I'm excited by the possibilities that a decent station presents, because I think there's quite an opportunity to really make a good factory if you have good resource input, and RSO isn't going to hold me back. I'm determined.